For years, Finland's education system has been hailed as one of the best in the world, known for its success and willingness to embrace new technologies. Finnish students gave up their textbooks for digital gadgets long ago. But now, after a significant drop in international rankings, the country is rethinking its approach. Finland is planning to ban personal phones in schools, and in the town of Raihimäki, students returning after summer break are once again carrying backpacks filled with books.
If the school authorities decide that children have to learn just by using smartphones, they will never go into deep reading.
This isn't just a Finnish issue. Across mainland Europe, more and more students are being asked to leave their mobile phones behind as they head back to school. The big question remains, do digital devices in the classroom boost students' learning abilities, or are they holding them back? As we explore this topic, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinion in the comments. For years, Finland consistently ranked among the top countries in the Programme for International Student Assessment, PISA, and Progress in International Reading Literacy Study, PARLS, assessments, which evaluate student performance globally. However, recent years have seen a significant decline in its scores. Finland's PISA ranking fell from 10th to 13th between 2018 and 2022. Although its position in the PARLS remained stable, its overall score has decreased. Neighbouring Sweden, also renowned for its strong education system, has experienced a similar decline in its rankings.
If you are going down, then it's obviously that you are doing something wrong.
In response, its centre-right coalition government is shifting focus towards traditional learning methods, moving away from the country's previously hyper-digitalised approach. Analysts attribute the decline to various factors, including COVID-19, while some point to the impact of migrant populations. Others, however, place the blame on a different beast altogether: smartphones in the hands of kids. After COVID-19, rising anxiety among children was observed as they returned to schools with continuous access to smartphone screens. At St. Patrick's National School in Ireland, Principal Rachel Harper noted that childhood seems to be shrinking, with children as young as 9 feeling peer pressure to stay online. In response, she launched the It Takes a Village initiative, which encourages parents to delay giving smartphones to their children until secondary school, aiming to protect their emotional well-being and better prepare them for the digital world. The initiative has received support from the Irish government as a model for other communities.
Which is national support from her department for a voluntary code for the children not to have smartphones. It's with more and more evidence coming in from all over the world of the profound damage that certain types of use of these smartphones are doing to our children.
Across Europe, countries from France to Germany, the Netherlands to England and Italy to Spain and Portugal have implemented partial or complete bans on smartphones for students in schools. It has sparked widespread debate among policymakers, academics, and educational experts about the most efficient method of education and learning.
We have two types of skills. One skill, let's say, is screen skill, and this skill is not so bad because it allows us to browse through a huge amount of information in very short time. And then another skill is, let's call it this deep reading skill, which requires totally different type of focus.
In the UK, one of the largest mobile network providers, EE, is advising parents against giving smartphones to children under 11. However, research by Ofcom reveals that nearly a quarter of 3- and 4-year-olds in the UK own a smartphone. Opponents of smartphones in schools argue that these devices negatively impact students' performance, reduce attention spans, hinder learning abilities, and increase the risk of cyberbullying. Last year, UNESCO called for a global ban on smartphones in schools, emphasizing the need for appropriate technology use. Sweden's Karolinska Institute said that there is clear scientific evidence that digital tools impair rather than enhance learning.
It's not what or how much we read, but how we read that's really important.
UK researchers found that banning smartphones had a positive effect on students' test scores. Psychologists at Rutgers University in New Jersey also discovered that mobile devices distracted students, reducing their ability to retain information and impacting exam performance.
When you read, when you are using these bloody devices attached to the screen, because things on the screens are changing constantly. There is always something moving there. But when you are reading from paper, nothing is moving there. Everything is fixed.
Reading from digital devices can pose significant risks to democratic societies and political systems. With the increasing prevalence of technology, people's attention spans are shrinking, which affects how they consume information, making them more susceptible to conspiracy theories and misinformation. This shift also impacts professional lives, as the decline in focus hinders the development of critical thinking and advanced analytical skills. Textbooks, which often contain complex information, diverse vocabulary, and intricate sentences, foster abstract thinking. Those who engage with such material or undergo training in it benefit from improved cognitive abilities, which positively influence their professional competence.
People who don't go through this kind of training will not be capable of more abstract, logical, and critical thinking, and quickly become victims of all kinds of conspiracy theories, and they believe to all kinds of, excuse me for politically incorrect language, they believe to all kinds of bullshit.
However, not everyone agrees with this stance. A 2020 study from Sweden found no significant impact of phone bans on student performance. Danish scientists suggest that the negative effects of mobile phones on learning are often exaggerated. While phones can be distracting, they argue that students have always been prone to distractions, whether by gazing out the window, staring at the ceiling, or passing notes during lessons while the teacher explains concepts like deriving pi from first principles. Singapore, which recently topped international education assessments, has no blanket ban on smartphones in schools. In response to a query on the matter, Singapore's Ministry of Education stated that while some studies highlight the negative impact of smartphones on learning, others show that, when used effectively, smartphones can be valuable educational tools.
On the basis of what I learned with the studies I was part of and with collaborating with international colleagues, is that it would be totally wrong to completely digitize education. And of course, it would be also totally wrong to say we are going just back to print, and there will be no computers in the education. These are two extremes, and both extremes are not okay.
Despite differing views on how smartphone usage impacts students' learning abilities, there's widespread agreement that smartphones in the hands of young children increase the risk of cyberbullying. Research from the US shows that children with cell phones experience higher rates of cyberbullying and abuse. Similarly, when mobile phones were banned in 2 regions of Spain, researchers observed a significant reduction in cyberbullying among teens. There's also little debate that constant screen exposure, whether from smartphones or computers, can negatively affect children's cognitive abilities, including memory, comprehension, and attention span. This aligns with the shallowing hypothesis, which suggests that modern media technologies have led to a decline in deep thought. The hypothesis states that certain types of social media, such as texting and Facebook, can encourage rapid, shallow thinking, which can lead to cognitive and moral shallowness.
The same. For long informational text, paper is better than screens. There was not a single study that shows that screens are better than paper. There were a few, very small number of studies which showed that there is no difference, but there was not a single study that would show that screen is better than paper.
Different countries are addressing this issue in diverse ways. In 2023, Poland introduced a program to provide laptops to 4th graders, but it was suspended by the new government in February this year. Meanwhile, Sweden allocated $64.7 million in 2023 to buy books for schools, with plans to boost funding in the coming years, while others like Finland are planning to ban smartphones outright for children. However, the challenge now is to find ways to balance both approaches, ensuring that we preserve children's learning abilities while keeping them aligned with technological advancements.
Saying hybrid approach is something, but designing the proper hybrid approach is another thing. And as we say in Europe, the devil is always in the details, and we need to figure out these details.